Ooh, a spotlight. So. All right, guys. So very quickly, I am almost certain that, wow, here comes some more people. Almost certain that the question everybody would have is about today's quiz. Of course, number one is there is a quiz today. You've known since before the semester started there would be a quiz today. I just want to show you where that will be. So towards the end of class, I'm going to stop about 2:45, and then I'm going to make, let's see, I got to wait for more people to come. While people come in, because I'm not going to say this 80 times. As people still come in, I'll tell you in a minute. Are there any questions from homework stuff or anything else?
Do you think you could describe discrete data just a little bit more? I'm having trouble figuring out when it's discrete and when it's not.
So when it's discrete or when it's continuous, right? So if you could be as precise as possible for an answer, that's continuous. So for example, you could say that, I live about 11 miles from the school. Just because that's a whole number doesn't mean it's discrete data, because how far away do I really live? Maybe it's 10.9874, then 9993344. But if I said I have 2 dogs, which I don't. Let's see, somebody has 2 dogs. Can you be more precise? Can you please be more precise? What do you mean? 2.187 dogs makes no sense, right? It has to be a certain value to make sense. Whereas continuous, you could have anything in a continuum and still make sense.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So don't pay attention to what's like. In normal speak, we would say something like, "Oh yeah, that bag weighs about 5 pounds." But how much does it really weigh? 5.18724, right? That would be continuous. But if I said there's 7 bags, okay, there's not going to be 6.9349447 bags. It's like, holy shit, it's a bag or it isn't. Yeah, okay. Anything else from homework, specific, general? I think this is sort of like, it's funny, it's waiting for the popcorn bag to stop popping so much. I think there's less people, nobody's come in. So let me try this. Here we go. I'm going to share this again. So about 2:45, I'm going to stop lecturing. You're going to go into Canvas. And if you go to modules, if you go there right now, you'll see this. There's a quizzes module that is empty as far as you know. No, I just haven't made it accessible yet, obviously. So at 3:45, I'm going to make it accessible. You go into Canvas. You don't have to print it out. You can if you want to. You don't have to work on it. You can print it out and work on it if you want to, just on another sheet of paper. You answer the questions. You don't have to write down the questions. You scan it and you submit it, right? And I made it due at 3:20, which is officially when class is over. And that is a little more time than I normally give for this quiz, so that should be plenty of time, just in case there's technical difficulties. Is everybody with me on that? Any questions about how that's going to work, the quiz? And I almost don't care if you have a calculator sitting there, because the calculator ain't going to do shit for you. As
Can
far
you
as
repeat what time we're going to start?
2:45 roughly.
Okay, gotcha.
At the latest, we'll start then, yeah. That should be plenty of time to do it, scan it, submit it. Okay. Anything else? Yes.
Yeah. So with me being on my phone, did you figure out what would like how that situation is going to work?
I'm going to have to trust you. It's basically so it's like I was thinking about. So here's my whole thought process about everything, right? Last semester I was making the quiz due by midnight of that day, but there is a possibility that somebody has to go do a 14-hour shift right after class, in which case, when are they going to do that? So I feel like it's my obligation to get it done within the class time, because I don't know anybody else's situation when it's not the class time. I just know that you have an obligation to be here during class time. I would like your camera to be on while you're taking it. If you absolutely cannot have any camera turned on, then I'm just going to have to go with that, because it's the decreased amount of time that you have to work on it that is the big deal. If you are somebody that doesn't regularly cheat, you might not know about all the amazing ways to cheat. So with less time, there's less of a chance for that to happen. And very often places that cheat have very strange ways of doing things. And then it's very obvious to me that something's happened. So, but I'm trying, I have to balance that with the students who will never cheat. And if I implement strict measures, it might actually hamper their ability to do as well as they could have. So there's a lot of conversations happening right now about how to make this work best so that we don't hurt people, but we also keep the integrity of things. And that's not an easy balance, but we'll see how it works. That was more than you really asked for, but oh well. Any other questions about how the quiz is going to work or anything else? Okay. And in a perfect world, I would do the quiz at the beginning of class, but it's just so much easier to handle all the inevitable problems with scanning and all that shit that's going to happen. I'm going to have to put it at the end of class. So we are going to talk about new stuff. So, oh well, that's life. Anything else about the quiz, or can we transition into questions from homework stuff? Anybody have questions from any of the homework?
I guess not.
No? Okay. Yes, Charles, what's up? Can you turn on your audio, Charles? Or is that not a possibility for you? Where are you?
Yeah, I'll turn it on. Sorry.
There you are. So what's up?
So on my homework, you crossed out my my table, the data table. For the frequency, you said it's wrong, but I got 100%. So how is that wrong?
Okay, so couldn't you have completely wrong numbers and they still add up to be 100%?
I guess.
No, no guessing. Of course you could, right?
Oh.
I could just put zeros in every single one and then put 100 in the last one. It adds up to 100, Jeff. It must be right.
Oh.
Do you understand how that's? So there must have been some miscounts. Didn't I cross through some counts that you made or something?
Yeah.
Yes. So just go back and recount those. So what's happening on some people's is one class should have 7 and instead it has 6, and the other one should have 8 and instead it has 9. So that one shifted. So of course it's going to add up to 100%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What's happening in other people's is there's like 40 patients, but if you added up all your frequencies, it comes out to 36 or 38, and that's telling you made a mistake. Don't keep going until you figure out this mistake. So that's why some of yours is not adding up to 100%, because you left out some people. It's really
Okay.
neat. No people left behind.
So the frequency percent shouldn't be to 100?
It always has to add up to at least close to 100, because you might have to round some of your percentages. Yeah. So anything more than 1% off is an almost definite you made a mistake. So anywhere between 99 and 101%. So 99.7 could be fine, but it might not be. But it's not like obviously wrong, Albert. Is that all right? 99.7 is within a reasonable amount. But like the earlier question showed, that doesn't mean you got the problem right. It just means you didn't get it obviously wrong. Okay. Anything else, guys?
I have a question. Did you check already all of the homeworks from section 1.2 or?
No, I'm not quite through that yet. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This week has been insane, and the due date was yesterday, so I had like just a ton of stuff drop on me. And yesterday I was grading almost the whole day a quiz that I gave my other class the day before. Yeah, so I that's why I respect I try to make due dates like after a weekend or something
Okay.
when I can, because that's going to happen to me too. During the week, it's insane. So I grade when I can. So let me see. Tapan, I probably haven't gotten to you yet. I was going down alphabetically.
That's fine. I was just checking.
Okay.
And yeah. Thank you.
Sure. All right. How's everybody else?
I have a question.
Yes.
On 1.2, on number 17, it says determine what the key term data refers to.
Yes.
In the
What's the
about
key term data? The key term data. What does that refer to?
the tables?
So what does data itself just mean? What's kind of like a definition of data?
The answers of whatever you are like.
Beautiful. So if they want to know what the data is for a specific situation, you better give me answers that people gave.
Okay.
So you cannot answer a question about data with like if you said it was number of months lived. No, that's variable. That's the variable. Data is the answers. You have to give example data points. Does that make sense, everybody? So,
Yeah.
okay. And by the way, be really careful if you stumble across the full solutions manual. It's sort of like finding your Christmas presents early. You think that it's a good thing, and then later you realize, well, that was a bad thing because I'm not getting any real practice to be ready for the test or a quiz or whatever, right? So if you do have it, there is a way to use it intelligently, and then there's a way to use it very foolishly. So yeah. Okay. Anything else before we move back into where we left off? Okay. Let me see. So last time we talked about stem and leaf. We talked about frequency distribution. We talked about creating a histogram from that frequency distribution. So I want to do a quick review. We're not going to maybe create a whole histogram, but just a really quick review of how histograms work. And let me see, actually, let me give you this. Let me do this way. I got a nifty handout. Let me share this with you. Of course, it would have been great if I would have gotten it ready before, but oh well. Let's see. Where are you? Barf. All right. Well, that sucks a lot. Dadgummit. Sorry, guys. Dead air is good for everything, I know. Is this a good one? No. Maybe. Yes, it is. Perfect. All right. Okay, let me share this with you. Where did all of you go? There you are. I have so many things open now. It's insane. Can you guys see a blue histogram?
Yes.
Yeah.
Blue histogram. All right, so this is kind of backwards. This is a histogram that has already been created for us, right? Uh-oh, somebody's chatting at me. Yes, okay. So look at this histogram. Can somebody tell me, let me help you. Let me help you a little bit. How many classes in this histogram are empty?
Two.
Everybody see that? 1, 2, right? So how many total classes are there in this histogram?
6.
6. If I would have said that second question first, I would have had a lot of people say 4. But if I focus people's attention, they'll, oh, there's 2 that are empty. So they're still there. What's the class width?
20?
Yeah, it's exactly what it says. How wide is each class? 20. Whoever put this histogram together, can you see that they probably used this method that I'm about to write, but I just can't prepare shit today? So they probably did this: 0 less than or equal to x less than 20. Do you see that? Because they don't have any weird ass 0.5 shit down there, right? Okay, let me clear that away. Go away. Get out of here. How many people are in that first class?
11?
11. I love it because it doesn't quite go up to 12 there, right? So how many total consumers were surveyed? Don't say anything out loud. Just take a minute. Think about it. If you get the answer, just hold on to it. Hold on to it. Don't let it go away. Do, do, do. All right, who's got that answer?
20.
20.
20.
Yeah, so it's 11 plus 6 plus 2 plus 1, you get 20 total. Woohoo! And we already answered this, and we already answered this. That's awesome, Jeff. I forgot those were questions. So there's 6 classes, and they're all 20 wide. 20 wide. And then finally, and this is all about how many weeks a bottle of shampoo typically lasts them. Who is this most likely? What kind of person?
Babies.
Huh?
Babies.
Oh, I like it. I got babies. I got old people. I was thinking it might most likely be a man, because stereotypically men have shorter hair on average. I'm not saying every man has short hair. I'm not saying no women have no short hair. You understand what I'm saying? The thing to get about statistics is it talks about on average as a whole. But we don't know. Maybe it isn't a man. It doesn't matter. For what percentage of this sample does a bottle of shampoo last at least 40 weeks?
30%?
15%?
There we go. I understand where you got 30, but it's not.
Yeah, I forgot to add the first one.
Yeah, how many people is it out of? It's out of 20 people. How many had it last that long? 3. And then of course you can multiply by 5, multiply by 5, and you get 15 out of 100, so you get 15%. All right, I like it. So it is kind of nice to see a histogram that is completely done and identify parts of it, because you're going to have to be able to construct a histogram from scratch. So it's nice to see one kind of finished. I'm gonna erase all this here. I don't think you need it up there much longer, so it's gonna go away. Oh wait, I'm sorry, Jenna. So again, part C. To figure out the percentage of anything, I have to know how many match that thing. How many match at least 40 weeks? 2 people, 1 person, 3 total people. Out of how many total? 20. So 3 out of 20 is 15%. Is that all right? If I want to know the percentage left-handed people, I got to know how many left-handed people divided by how many total people. Bam. All right, I'm going to clear it. Go away. So, oh, here, real quick. Who remembers about stem and leaf? What would this look like here? What would I put here for this data?
Like the numbers in like the 10 zones, like 1, 3,
No.
4, 5.
So I had a good question earlier. I think that's the highest it goes, 50 something, right? Yeah. If there's no 20s, is that what it is? Yeah, there's no 20 anything, but you still put them there. It's just going to be empty. If you didn't put it there, it's like you're lying to people. And then, of course, you just start writing 2, 3. In fact, let me do this. All right, let me show you the first little cool thing. I'm going to stop sharing. Can you guys, if you have a calculator especially, can you write those numbers down for yourself? I want to show you how to do some basic stuff in the calculator. Now that I have this kick-ass program on my computer, it's going to make it easier. So much easier. All right. Still copying, okay. All right. Anybody not done yet? Okay. I'm going to stop sharing. Pop. And then I'm going to share this one. This one's going to kick so much ass. Pop. Look at that. Oh, isn't that pretty? That is pretty. This is not exactly what your calculator will look like, but it's close. Let me get out of here. Looking at this, besides the on button, what is probably the most important button for this class?
Stat.
Yeah. So if you hit stat, this is where you can input data. Notice also what this list is. Sort, what do you think sort A and sort D is?
Alphabetic. Alphabetic?
No, no, no. Ascending and descending. So sort smallest, largest, largest, smallest, blah, blah, blah. So if I hit edit, you can either hit enter or just the number 1. Now, if you got your calculator, you're playing along with me, let me know if you hit any weird shit, if it doesn't look the same. You guys might have stuff in your lists. Does anybody have stuff in their lists? All right, so let me show you what to do if you got stuff in the list. Let me put stuff on my list. What are you gonna do with all that stuff? All that stuff inside your list? I'm gonna delete it. Did I just now sing? That's interesting. So if you go up here, now I gotta get used to this. This is gonna drive me crazy. If you hit clear, enter, it'll clear the list. Never hit delete for the list because then your list will just go away. Does anyone else not have L1, L2, L3, L4? Is everybody else okay? And then all the lists that you have data, you can just go clear them. Is that all right? If you hit delete, watch what happens. Oh shit, my list 1 is gone. I killed it. Then you would go to stat, setup editor. Stat, edit, and now my list 1 is back. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, in list 1, I'm gonna put all that data. So, let me see here. Oh shit, what did I just do to you? I wanna keep that there so you can see it. I gotta put this over here for myself. All right, so in list 1, I'm gonna put 52 and so forth. Oh, this is gonna work. Oh, this is nice. Oh, this kicks so much ass. I'm so happy. I know I'm gonna skip somebody. Am I gonna skip somebody? Well, let's find out. Can't see the rest of these. Is that it? 4150? Is that it? Oh shit. Did I get all of them? $13, $12, $41, $33, $35, $37, $45, $32, $32, $38, $46, $30, $16, $41.50. That looks right. Okay. So it should be 16 total. Total? Did I just say total? 16 total data points. And nobody's Screaming, any problems? Everybody okay? Now what's nice is if your calculator is coming, and that should be the truth, if you don't currently have one, there should be one approaching you. You can always look back at this video and see how to do this. So now I want to sort these, because that's going to make stem leaf and everything else so much easier, right? So if I go back to stat, and let's sort ascending. We almost always sort from smallest to biggest. Oh, somebody's chatting at me. Oh, Frida, what happened to you? I had them up here earlier. So did you get any of them, Frida? I mean, these aren't all of them, sorry. So I don't know where you left off or anything. Oh, the last one, okay, thank God. So if I hit stat, sort ascending, enter, do you see how it looks like a function? Remember functions, f of something? You got to tell it which list you want to sort. Now look above the number 1. What's above the number 1 here? L1. Right, see that? L1?
Yes.
So then if I hit second 1, second's like my shift key. It'll put in there list 1. Enter. All right, I'll stop. And now that's a little anticlimactic, right? I mean, what the hell? Done. Good job. So if you go to stat, edit, it's now in order. Sweet. So that still doesn't quite make this worth $100 yet, but it better be able to do that. Charles, everybody's going to look different than mine. Mine is an emulator. This is going to look different. This should look very much the same. Charles, what kind of calculator do you have? Everybody should look like this. What kind is it? Take it down. Let me see what type it is. Oh, you're not even in the list, dude. What happened to you? All right, let's try this again. So you hit stat. See there, stat. See? And then edit. And that's where you put the data. Is that all right? Okay. All right, and then to make a stem and leaf, let's come back to that. Let me see. So, I mean, we already constructed the stem and leaf. So next to the 1 would be 2, 3, 6. Next to the 3 would be 1, 2, 2, 3, 5, 6. Now it's easy, right? Is everybody with me? So coming back real quick to that. So much shit up on my screen. There it is. Where are you? Where'd you go? There you are. Oh my gosh. I don't know what you can see now. Oh man. This is not a good day for... Oh crap. Things are happening.
It's showing the stem and leaf plot of the data.
Oh. It's showing the... Why am I paused? What happened? Sorry, hold on. I don't know why it was paused. Here we go. Bam. Right? What are you doing over there? Okay. I don't know where this 41 came from. But then I would have 1, 2, 3, and then next to 1 would be all the 1 stuff. What was it? 2,
3, 6.
6. There's nothing with the 2s, and then 3 would be 1,
2, 2.
Is it 2, 2? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's 2, 2.
2, 2, and so forth. Anyway.
Yes.
That's easy now. Once it's sorted, that kind of thing is easy. Okay. I like it. So I'm going to clear that. Close that. All right. So this is kind of the way I like to give you now look, here's what I'm not going to do. This formula you got to know. Remember this formula? Range divided by the number of classes.
Yes.
You have to know that formula for the next quiz, after this quiz. There will be histograms on the next quiz. So the range divided by 5. So I'm not going to do this right now, but I mean, well, let's see. Do I want to do this? No, I don't. I don't feel it. That's too bad. But now you know if you put all this data in your calculator, you can sort it. It's going to make it a lot easier. Let's do the first couple steps, just so everybody is aware of how this works. Without putting all this in order, can you guys see what the highest? It looks like the highest data point is 79, right? And what's the lowest data point?
61.
It looks
61.
61, yeah. And I say here to use 5 classes. So if I do that, I get 18 divided by 5. You guys know the quick way to divide by 5? You double 18, and then you just move the decimal back 1 because now you divide by 10. So double 18 is 36, and you move the decimal back 1 is 3.6. Now, who remembers? Do I use 3.6 as my width?
You would use 4.
Yes, round it up to 4.
Okay.
I like it. Even if it was 3.2, you would round it to 4. Force it up, I guess. Round is not the correct word to use there, but oh well. And then, when I go to create my classes, I got to clear that or else I can't move. Hopefully everyone's got that wants it, because it's going away. So now I know my width is 4. Where am I going to start my first class? So remember the lowest was 61, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to start at 61. So where's the next class going to start?
65.
66.
65. Not 66, because then that would be 5 wide. I want the width to be 4. I have to be able to see this as the width. So where's this first class got to end then?
63.
I like it. No,
No, 64. I meant 64. Sorry.
I almost liked it. And now you can just keep adding 4 down, right? Because the width is 4. So it's 68 there, 69 to 72, and I mean so forth, right? But remember what we have to do to make the histogram. I can't use 61 to 64 because then there's going to be a gap. Does somebody remember what you have to do? Where do I actually start for my scale? I don't start at 61. I start at
60.5.
60.5. Up to what?
4.5.
64 points.
64.
So do you see how the width of 4 still is here? It's just hidden when it's like this, 60.5 up to 64.5. It's got a width of 4. It's just hidden. Now, if you don't like any of what I'm talking about right now, you could use the other method, the inequality method. That's beautiful. That's up to you. I don't care. All right. So that's stuff we already all talked about before, but I just wanted to do a little bit just to remind you guys how that works. Okay. So now we got to get into some new stuff. Clear? Okay. Stop share. I gotta close some of this stuff out. So what we're gonna talk about today, we have basically finished 2.1 and 2.2. What we're gonna talk about today is like the next 2 sections. They both deal with the same kind of information. How many of you guys, has anybody ever taken the SAT or some other standardized test? Do they still give you, do you get the results as what's known as a percentile? Now your results are like, yes, okay, good. All right, I like it. So what the hell is a percentile? If you score in the 80th percentile on a quiz, is that good?
Yes.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yes.
It's good
pretty
in
good.
what sense? Because you still like my first test I took in grad school, I got
Only-
20 out of 45 correct. Do you understand what I'm saying? And young
Yeah.
Jeff was like, have I done the right thing? And then the teacher said, oh yeah, good job, Jeff. And I was like, what the shit is he talking about? Because the highest grade I think was a 22 out of 45. And I got a 20 out of 45. I did really good. You guys semi with me here? So if your
Yeah.
friend makes an 80 on a test and you make a 98, your friend's grade might be more substantial because maybe you took a teacher that doesn't give below a 97, right? And your friend takes somebody who always gives Fs and he got an 8. It's like, holy shit, I got an 80 from this guy. So percentiles are relative measures of position for a data point. It's so an 80th percentile, if you're on the 80th percentile on something, that means that 80% of everybody else scored below you, right? So what if you scored the 80th percentile playing golf? Does anyone know how golf works? Is that good?
That's bad.
No,
80th
bad.
percentile.
Yeah, you want a lower score in golf. So be careful. High percentiles does not equal good. It just means more of a percent of people were below you. So if a lower score is better for something, high percentiles suck. Is everybody with me? You got to be careful about making generalizations on things. All right, so what we're going to discuss is how to actually calculate percentiles. Let me see. There I am. Okay, so let me do this up here. I'm not used to sitting so damn much. I hate it. Let me make this easy on myself. Go away. All right. Okay. So let's say I have, I'm going to make up a list of 10 numbers. You guys see that all right? Yeah. Oh shit, Jeff. Did you give yourself enough room? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, you guys are gonna hate me. 8, 9. Can you go back here and make this a 2? Put a 2 first. First thing I want you to notice is what did I make sure happened? What is true about this list? It's in
Order?
Ascending order.
Yeah. So percentiles don't mean shit unless they reference something that's in order, right? Or else I can just make my IQ the highest because I just put myself at the end of the list. No, doesn't make it. It doesn't work that way. Can somebody
Sorry,
give
which number was a 2 again?
Sorry, very first?
Okay.
Okay, I just ran out of room at the end. I should have gotten the slightly larger whiteboard, but oh well, too bad for me. Or maybe I could have started over there. Can somebody give me a guess for what you think the 80th percentile is for this data?
$38.
Okay, I got a guess of 38. Any other guesses? You could be wrong.
25.
All right, got a guess of 25.
40?
We got a guess of 40. That's neat. So the person that said 40, why do you think that's true?
Well, I'm assuming that like percentiles like reference a curve. And so I know like once you get to a certain point, it starts like exponentially kind of like changing. So I would think it'd be like slightly farther along.
So let's make it, let's come back to definition. You ready? A percentile is that percentage is below that data point. So if I have 10 numbers and
You
I'm
have to
the
get the
80th,
eighth.
Say again?
You have to get the 8th one.
Oh yeah.
Well, no. Well, let's be careful. Now think about it. 80% of the data is supposed to be below that data.
Including the 8th, right?
80%. So that's why the answer can't be this, because it only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It only has 70% below it. This
So it
one
includes
seems
it.
better than, doesn't it? Because it has 8. It has 80% below it. This one, I'm really sorry. Whoever suggested this one, no. This one's not right either, though. Because if you're the 80th percentile, you have 80% below you, how much should be above you?
20.
20. So
20.
this one has 20 above it. Oh, shit. So what the hell's the answer? The answer is right between both of them.
So is it?
So the number 39, how many data points are below it?
80%.
8. So 80%. How many data points are above it?
20%.
2. So 20%. So 39 is the, and here's the symbol for 80th percentile. Big ass P with a little 80. That symbol means 80th percentile. All right, I like it.
But it doesn't matter that 39 wasn't on the list.
Doesn't matter, nope. So the answer to a percentile doesn't have to be an actual data point. So it's, if I took a test, if this was a 50-point test and I wanted to know what grade represents the 80th percentile, it would be a grade of 39. Nobody was at the 80th percentile then, necessarily, were they? No. There's only 10 data points, so there's no way you're going to have somebody at the 31st percentile and the 77th percent. There's just only 10 data points, right? You guys see what I'm saying? So for a very small set of data, percentiles can have a lot of repeats. We're going to see that happen in a minute because there's not that many things to choose from. Okay, now, watch this. This is interesting. What do you think the 50th percentile would be then?
$19.5.
Yeah, so the same idea. You can actually even do this. Count in. So then it has to be in the middle there, right? Okay, I like it. Now, all right. What do you think the 25th percentile is then? So I got P50 is 19.5 because it's right in between those two. What do you think the 25th percentile would be?
Half of the 50.
12.5.
Yeah, so what? Say again?
12.5.
No.
Would be half of the 50.
11.
11. You see how it's exactly?
Okay.
Oh.
That makes sense.
Now. We're done with that because very quickly you can see, what if I had 8,472 data points? Do you want to do this the way we've been doing it right now? You want to list them all out, start counting?
No.
No. So let's formalize this a bit. Let's see what really happens with the math. So does this make sense that if I want to know the 80th percentile, shouldn't my first step be to go 80% of the way into the list? If I go 80% of the way in, I should be close to the answer. So how big of a list is this?
10 numbers.
10. So if I go 80% of 10, what is that?
8.
Yes. Now, here's where things get formalized. Let me tell you right now, there's only 2 possible things that can happen. Here's one. If the answer to this first step is a whole number, you average that number with the next. Does that match up with what we got? You take the 8th and the 9th numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you average them. That's exactly what the shit we did, right? That's exactly what we did. Now, let's look at this one. This is more interesting. P25. So P25, we got 11. Just by kind of cutting it in half and then cutting it in half again, that makes sense. It's what 25% is. It's half of a half. But what would this work look like? It's got the same first step. Jeff, there you go. What's 25% of 10?
2.5?
Yes, there we go. Is that a whole number?
No.
No. So if it's a whole number, you take that one and the next one and average them. Anything else, you round up and take that number. So what's the third number? Same answer we got, right?
Okay.
So these two, this one step, 80% of 10 or whatever percent of how long the list is the first step. And then there's two things you might have to do. If it's a whole number, you average that with the next one. If it's anything else, you force it up and take that number. That's how you calculate any percentile. Okay. Let's try another example. Do you guys have all this? No, Nathan, good question. You would round up. You always force it up. I'm sorry, Alexis. Where did I lose you?
I think maybe just seeing like another example of how to calculate the percentile. I think that might help.
Example. All right, so let's say I have this long ass list of data. Okay, now let's say I have 87 data points. Oh man, somebody just left. If I have 87 data points, and let's say that this is the what are you gonna do, Jeff? Yeah, let's do that. So say this is the 64th, 65th, 66th, 67th, 68th number. You guys with me? So there's 87 numbers, and I'm just looking at this much because I don't have enough room for all 87. Screw them all. But they're all in order. How would I find the 75th percentile?
Three-fourths of the 87.
Yeah, so 75%. I like it. Or I like how you're thinking it's actually the same thing as 3/4, but 87 is a gross number. It's not going to help you that much, but just what's 0.75 times 87?
65.25.
So is that a whole number?
No.
No.
Round it up.
Round. Is that cool? Do you guys see that? If it was a whole number, I would average that with the next one. Anything else, you force it up and you take, so what's the 66th number? 19.
19.
Is that better?
Yeah, that makes more sense. Thank you.
So if that's a whole number, so if this would have come out to be 65, I would have averaged these two, the 65th and the next one. I would have averaged those. It came out to be 65 point something, make it 66, take that number, done. Next problem.
Isn't this still like a little bit limited though if you have like a really big list? Because you'd have to you get the 66 and then you have to look.
Yeah, I mean, if your list is 8,000 long, you're still going to have some work to do, but doing this eliminates you from having to count in and so forth, right? If you got the list that you can scan real quick, you still have to count to it, but you guys know about Excel. I mean, Excel would be the best place, and Excel has numbered positions. So you could just scroll down to the right numbered position and get it. You with me? Of course, if you're using Excel, you can just tell it to calculate it completely anyway for you. So realize I'm not going to give you a list of even 100 data points. Right? We might work with a list of 40 or so at most. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, you're welcome. Yeah, if I get a long ass list, then I'm going to use some kind of software just to do it. My God, but we're in class. We got to understand what the hell it is. I like it. Okay. So let me see. Let me make a problem up, and then I want to do a little bit more work. All right. So I'm gonna let me make up. What do you want, Jeff? Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna make up 18 data points. All right. I think that's probably as much as we can handle me just making up. Let me see, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, there's 18 data points. So I want you guys to figure out 3 things. Let's see. How to make it better. Oh, much better. So there's always 2 steps. The first step is where is the answer, and the second step is go get the answer. Right? Let's see. Just to make sure everybody's on the right track, this first one, you should get the 5th number, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, done. I'm sorry. 19 is the 7th. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, Geneva. I missed that from earlier. Yeah, because it was the 66th number. So the first step tells you which number or numbers to go get. And the second step is go get it. You might have to take an average. Should be cool. The next one here, it's half of 18, so you get 9. So what do I need to do?
Take the average of the 9th number and the 10th number.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So what's the average of 25 and 27?
26.
26. I like it. Don't even need to do the work, right? Just right in between.
So
Sorry, go ahead.
when you get 9, like say you got 9, you always do the number on top of it.
You always, if you get a whole number, average that one with the next one. So that's the 9th number. Average it with the next one.
Okay.
Now, P75, you can do the same work you've done, but I want you to notice a little shortcut. How many places in did I have to go from the bottom to get to P25? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So can't I just do it mirror image? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's P75. Done. Did anybody do all the work and get the same answer?
Yes.
But that's okay. That's okay. It's not up to you to know all the little shortcuts. I'm kind of happy you did the work so you can see that you get the same answer. You can be smart about it. Just kind of goes symmetric. Boogie, woogie, woogie. All right. So again, you could do 75% of 18, blah, 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 and then you eventually get to 31. Okay, so everybody got that written down? I want to do one more thing with this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to erase this here so I have some room to work with. And you guys, let me put this here. P25 is 16, P50 is 26, and P75, what kind of letter is that, Jeff? It's 31, okay.
I have a question.
Yes, yeah.
For percentile 75, I got 35.
Oh, okay.
Because I did 0.75 times 18, but I got 13.5. So then I rounded up and I got 14. So I took the 14th number.
That's what I did too.
Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4,
Oh,
5,
yeah,
6,
okay.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah.
Okay.
Even better, you can go 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, which is basically what I did, right? Okay, now, there's something called the 5-number summary, and all the 5-number summary is the lowest data point. Now, let me bring in something. P25, that's 25% of the way in. What's another way to say that? What's 25% of the way through a basketball game? That's the end of the what?
Quarter.
First quarter. Vanessa, yes, the shortcut would always work. Should be, and want to be really careful if it's P25 and P75. Do you see how those are symmetric? So it would work for anything. Like if I knew what P35 was, I could then just count in for P65 because 35 and 65 are symmetric there. Does that make sense? They're equidistant from either end. That's why that shortcut of starting from one end or the other works. Does that make, and if you don't like the shortcut at all, never use it. Sort of like blinkers on a car. All right. So another name for P25 is Q1, first quarter. So that's 16. Another name for P50, amazingly enough, is Q2. That is crazy, Jeff. And then this, I just don't know what it would be. Oh yeah, Q3. And then the highest one. And the lowest data point was 6, and the highest data point was 49. So that's what's known as the 5-number summary. And then the last thing we can do with this data, and by the way, I'm going to show you how the calculator can give you all these numbers with some pushing of some buttons. And just a shortcut, do not ever say to me, well, then why did we do all this if we can just make the calculator do it? Never say that shit to me, because we're in this class. The calculators are not taking the class. We are. You can use the calculator to check your work, but don't use a calculator to do your work. Not all the time. So what I can do with this data is I can construct something that I think will look familiar. What am I drinking? Good Lord, let me take some more of it. Oh yeah. What's gonna look familiar, there we go, to some of you guys, hopefully, it's what's called, it's also called a box in whisker plot is the real name of it. I think this book just calls it box plot because this book is boring as shit. No offense to the people that wrote it. It's actually not that bad of a book. It's a little boring. A box plot. Is everybody cool so far? I don't want to go too fast. Is everybody with me so far? Doesn't that kind of make sense? This is how we can summarize data. It's sort of the way we summarize a football game or a basketball game or whatever. The beginning, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, end. So what I'm going to do is I got to come up with a scale. My dear God, everybody, scales must be consistent. Don't make a step 5 and the next step is 20 and the next step is 1. My God. So what do I need to go? I got to go from 6 to 49. So if I go from 5 to 50, that makes for a good scale, right? So if I go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, holy shit, that's perfect. All right, so now every data point has a place to go. I'm not doing anything amazing right now. I just made a number line. Ooh, go Jeff. How's everybody? You guys all right?
I'm all right.
Okay, that's all I care. So now I'm going to do this, something a little different. I'm going to put a line where 6 is. And I'm just going to keep doing that. 16, I'm going to put a line. 26, I'm going to put a line. Guess what I'm going to do for 31? Line. And then 49, put a line for 49. Now here's the box. The box is the middle 3. Look at this. This is the box. See that? I'm just making a little box out of it. Bam. Maybe you can make yours straight. I don't know what the hell. Somebody sat on my box. All right. And then the whiskers come out like that. Has anybody ever seen anything remotely looking like that picture before?
Yeah.
I've seen it before.
I like it. Thank you. And if you've never seen it, hey, you have now. And what this means, like if this was a collection of ages at a bus stop, and then you look the next day, like this is not, don't do this, just this is just to visually compare. The next day I see this distribution at the bus stop. I can very quickly compare and say, whoa, for some day, for some reason, this day was a lot more variation in the ages. There was not as many older, not as many younger, right? The middle of it was lower. So it just makes it easier to compare multiple populations or samples, whatever it is you're working with. All right. Now, what percentage of the data is in the box? What's in the box?
25%.
How much?
25.
No. What's in the box?
5.
Say again?
75.
Nope. What's in the box? What's in the box? So help me out. What was this one again? Let me do it on this other one.
50%.
No.
That was the third quartile.
I'm sorry. Low Q1. Yeah, this is 75% is below it, right? Let me do it down here. So it's 75% is
50.
below it. And this is 25%. So how much is in the box?
50.
50%. I love it. So that's your middle 50%. I like it.
Can you repeat
repeat that one more time? Sorry.
So how much is below this is 75% because this was Q3, P75. So this is going to be the math we're going to do later. So this is 75%. And what's below this one is 25% because that was Q1. So what's in the middle? 50. So I mean, that's the math. That's like, if I have a, if this board is 10 inches long, and then, oh, screw it. How am I going to make this problem? I don't know how to, this problem isn't that crazy. So let's say this is 10 inches long total, and this is 2 inches long, and this is 8 inches long. Well, how much is this in the middle? 6 inches, yeah. 8 minus 2, just to get that much. So 75 minus 25, 50. Okay, maybe.
Thank you.
Maybe, okay. So that, believe it or not, so 2.3 is this, and then 2.4 is this. So 2.3 is percentiles, 2.4 is box plots. They really should have just been one section, but oh well. Too bad for the book. They got that wrong. All right, let me see if I can. All right, let me do one more thing, and then I'm gonna call it, and we'll start working on the quiz. Now that I've fried your brain into a great place for a quiz. I'm gonna do one more thing. Let me make sure what it was. Yeah, beautiful. Okay. So everybody got what they want from this stuff?
Yes.
Okay. That was the spokesperson. All right. Okay. I'm going to do just one tiny little thing just to get us thinking the right way for the next section. We're going to start finally developing formulas. And I think I told you the first day that the thing that keeps people down is all the Greek letters and what they mean. There's no word problems in statistics. We will develop formulas, and you have to know when to use which. I am going to let you use formula sheets on quizzes. Okay, but you can't use words on them. They're formula sheets. All right. So we have this idea of average, which is actually not a good word for it. This word in normal everyday talk actually refers to something called the mean. But you guys know how to find the average. You already know how to find it. So if I had a set of data, how do I find the average?
You add them all up and then divide by how many there are.
So I'm sorry, you're in a well. Say it one more time.
Sorry, you'd add them all up and then divide them by how many variables there are, or like numbers.
Like that? Is that right? I think I captured what you said. So everybody would say something similar to this, right? Add them all up, divide by how many there are, right? So we're going to make a formula out of this. Because that's too many words. Math people don't like that many words. So a symbol for add is actually the Greek letter S, because another name for add is sum, right? And then we're like, how do we be all nifty looking? Let's use Greek letters. Yeah. Sum S, Greek letter S. A Greek letter S looks like this. And by itself, it doesn't mean shit. It means add these, and there's nothing here. So aren't these data points? Right? And aren't they answers to the variable? So this is the data, and that's
yes, they're answers to variables.
So I'm going to say this is sum up the x values. So x represents all my data points. That's what it does. It did that same thing in algebra, all the possible values, right? And then the letter I use for the number of data points, thankfully, is n. I'm doing okay. Let me stop for a minute. So this is a little bit tricky. So what's the sum of x for this data list?
$38.
Yeah, 38, right? If you just add them all up, you get 38. And then what's n?
4.
I like it. If you do that, you get
9.5.
9.5. Kick ass. Now the symbol for the mean of a population, let's pretend like this is a very small population. The symbol for the mean of a population, you're going to love this. This is another Greek letter. The symbol for the mean of a population is the symbol mu. I think I talked off this when we did that warm-up sheet. Remember, it's the French cow? Mu. So it's a U that's got an extra leg. So it's a little more stable. It's a stable genius. I mean, a stable U. Okay. So that is our first little official formula that can live on a formula sheet. What's the symbol for sample mean? That one is just going to be this symbol, X bar. That's exactly how you say this. You say this X bar. All right. I think I've shoved enough stuff in your brain. Any questions over that? We just did the tiniest little bit. We're going to work more with this symbol next time because this symbol is going to come up this entire semester over and over and over again. And I want us to know exactly what we to do when we see that symbol. It sounds like, yeah, it's just add, Jeff. Yeah. We'll see. Part of me says, yes, it is that simple, but it's not always that immediately simple. All right. You guys still copying stuff down?
Yes.
Okay. But I would notice the formula doesn't change, just the symbol I use changes, which is nice. If somebody said mu is 11, they don't have to tell me it's a population. They already did by telling me which symbol they're using.
So the equation at the top that we did, the mu ones, that's the one for the mean?
These are both means. This is a population mean. And this is
Gotcha.
a simple mean. And real quick, anybody watch or anybody ever hear about something called the Super Bowl? All right, before the 50th Super Bowl, what did they always use for the number of the Super Bowl?
Roman numerals?
Roman numerals. Why? Because, you know, the Roman numerals, we can put them in like concrete that fall from the sky. For the 50th one, the Roman numeral for 50 is L. I so desperately wanted them just to have this L. Super Bowl 50 and an L drops down. Boom. Super Bowl. Anyway, sorry. That's just. So what's that got to do with anything, Jeff? Are you off your meds? No. Population, we're going to use Greek letters. Sample, not so special. Population, Greek letters. Sample, who gives a shit? Our letters. That's one little way to remember, at least in the early going, what's happening. All right. Everybody's got all that stuff? For the quiz, are we allowed to use line paper? Of course. Okay. You just can't use any paper or have any paper near you that has any notes on it. So here's how this is going to work. I'm going to go in right now. Let me see what time is it. Oh, this is perfect. I activated the quiz. So if you go into Canvas and you go to the modules, the second one has quiz 1 in it. Oh, let me change one thing real quick. So you can get in there. If you want to, oh, this is interesting. This is all screwed up. Pass, Jeff. What is your problem? You don't have to print it out, like I said earlier, right? Let me change this. There we go. You can print it out if you want to. You don't have to. I just need you to do the work on a sheet of paper. And like I said, no calculators out, even though it wouldn't really help you anyway. And right now I need everybody to turn their camera on unless you have no camera to turn on. And I can tell from the side if you do. So next time you're like, let me log in next time without a camera. Stop. Where's everybody? Oh, look at that. So many people that don't even know you because all I know you as is a black box with a name in it. Hey, people. All right, so get to work. Let me know if you have any technical issues. Is everybody able to find quiz 1? It's in a module.
Are we allowed to leave after we take the quiz?
Yes, make sure I get the quiz before you leave. So just chat to me, say I'm going to submit it, and then I'll let you know if I get it. Don't leave, because last semester I had people leave and it never made it to me, and that really sucked bad. Oh, Sandy, that's all right. Just do it. You could pull it up on your phone instead, right? Can you go to Canvas on your phone and pull it up, Sandy? As long as you can access the quiz, that's what matters. I don't know if that's what you were worried about. There you are. Well, that's weird. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to join Zoom on your phone. Well, you should be able to, so, all right. Sandy, you should be able to open up Canvas on your computer, and while Zoom is open too. I have about 20 things open on my computer, so. Right, is that what you're worried about? I'm not sure what you're worried about. Let me know if you need more help. You're not supposed to be able to write on the PDF, just on your own sheet of paper. Write the answers. If you want to print it out, you can. You don't have to. Just answer the questions on your own sheet of paper. Is that cool? It's okay, Sandy. Just work on the quiz. Don't worry about that. Oh, let me stop recording. Sorry. You're about to hear the lady.